Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. We feel so grateful to be standing in front of friends, family, NASA representatives, and even a retired NASA astronaut to share our vision for the Artemis campaign.
Like any space mission, this semester has been full of big leaps, small strides, setbacks, and breakthroughs. These moments have brought us closer together as a team and to NASA, all while showing us what it means to be part of the Artemis generation.
But before we embark on our mission, let's introduce the team behind the controls.
We're TeamChroma. Defined as a color's freedom from white or gray, or the intensity of color, chroma represents the intensity, vibrancy, and unique perspectives each of us brings to the table. See it for yourself. Chroma represents the many facets of the Yaya experience, capturing the colorful nature of their lives, dreams, and search for meaning. Like Artemis, we're a bright burst of color in the vast darkness of space, illuminating every connection, obstacle, and leap forward among Yaya's journeys.
Through our campaign, NASA has the power to make these connections tangible for our audience. This brings us to your ask.
Back in August, you approached us with a unique mission: make Artemis known and make it matter to Yayas. Well, we aim to do just that. With our campaign, we'll make Artemis relatable and resonant with those navigating one of the most complex chapters of their lives. This is a generation balancing the weight of big dreams with realities of everyday pressures, questioning their place and purpose in the world. But how do we bridge the gap and bring Artemis to a generation that longs for discovery while navigating the depths of their own self-exploration? To answer this, we needed to understand our audience on a deeper level. So we dug deep, listening to Yayas themselves.
Through our research, we found that Yayas are curious, adventurous, and courageous. They're actively exploring their identities, eager to push boundaries, and leave a mark in a rapidly changing world.
But even more than that, we discovered something powerful, something that every story and every interaction pointed back to.
Connection.
For every Yaya we spoke with, memories of space were inseparable from shared experiences, whether it be viewing a solar eclipse with friends, gazing at the stars with family, or discussing cosmic mysteries with roommates. Space for them is a powerful connector. As one of our interviewees put it, I look at the stars most nights and feel happiness. I love to look at the stars. It brings on memories. I used to go with my grandma to my grandpa's house in the country, and we would just lay out and look for shooting stars and meteor showers.
This revealed a universal truth among Yayas, that the universe is vast, but it brings us closer together.
The sky is always the same. Everyone at night is looking up at the sky. It's something that unites everyone. This captures the connective power of space exploration, turning something seemingly distant into a shared experience that resonates across generations, backgrounds, and boundaries.
And for NASA, this insight is pivotal in addressing a brand challenge. It transforms Artemis from a distant scientific endeavor to a unifying, accessible story that Yayas can see themselves in. By highlighting Artemis's role in fostering global connection and shared purpose, NASA can tap into Yaya's longing for real, meaningful interactions in a fragmented world.
Through our campaign, we'll help Yayas see themselves within this journey, turning Artemis into a catalyst for connection, belonging, and purpose.
With our sights set on the stars, we turned our focus to those ready to expand their horizons, connection catalysts. These young adults, ages 18 to 24, are college students who crave meaningful experiences and lasting memories. College students are the heart of our campaign. They're uniquely positioned at a transformative life stage, actively making new connections, navigating challenges, and seeking their purpose. This focus aligns perfectly with NASA's mission of education and exploration, giving Artemis a place in their lives both inside and outside the classroom.
At this pivotal time, connection catalysts are experiencing profound personal growth, while also grappling with the uncertainties of their future. In this mix of ambition and anxiety, we believe Artemis can be a source of inspiration, grounding, and hope, offering students a way to connect with something bigger than themselves.
For students like Ion, a 21-year-old psych major at the University of Missouri, this is especially resonant. Ion is juggling classes, sorority involvement, various clubs, and dreams of grad school. But she often finds herself feeling overwhelmed and uncertain about the future. Sometimes her ambitions feel just out of reach.
People always say college is the best time of your life, and I hope one day I can say the same. I have big dreams, and I'm doing my best to make them happen. There are so many people to meet, lessons to learn, experiences waiting to shape me. But sometimes it feels daunting. Putting myself out there isn't easy, and I want to find the people who make this place feel like home.
For Ion, the pressure to accomplish something meaningful in college and beyond is overwhelming. Earth feels as vast and uncertain as the universe, and her goals feel as distant as Mars. But what if Artemis could transform these distant dreams into something attainable?
The Artemis campaign doesn't simply ask Connection Catalysts to dream.
It offers them a way forward,
A mission that brings their aspirations within reach.
a movement that bridges divides and offers hope in a future they can believe in.
A solution that brings us to our big idea and makes us wonder,
What if we aren't so far off from what we're searching for?
what if
We're actually
closer than we think?
Dear future self, it's hard to imagine what the future looks like, especially now. When I was little, I imagined taking spaceships to school every day, life on other planets, and exploring the universe with my friends. By the time you read this, I hope you can see how far we've come. But more than anything, I really hope we found our people, a family who's turned all these years into a journey to remember. I hope we've made some friends, but I really hope we're still best friends with Amelia.
Hey, are you ready?
Yeah, I'll be down in a sec. Wherever we go from here, just know that our journey has just begun. I'm so proud of everything we'll become. We're so much closer than we think. With all the hope in the world, your freshman self.
As we consider what Artemis represents, we realize it's much more than just a mission to the moon and Mars. It's a symbol of resilience, hope, and connection. It speaks to Yaya's personal struggles and experiences, mirroring their own journeys through life. And, sorry, I knew this would happen. That was my video that I just played, and I'm through the roof right now.
It was amazing.
And it connects us to our own personal goals, reminding us that even our most ambitious goals are really closer than we think, and there's nothing stopping us in our pursuit of them.
For someone like Ion, Artemis becomes a North Star, a guiding light, a beacon of hope, a reminder that as we navigate life, we find ourselves drawn closer to one another. Closer than we think tells Yayas that the path to things like peace, love, unity, and progress are closer and more attainable than we realize. Whether through reaching Mars, the advancements that drive humanity forward, or international collaboration, Artemis unites us all through its missions.
With our big idea, we believe we can change the way Connection Catalysts connect with NASA, helping them see how Artemis draws them closer to their goals, to their future, and finally to each other. This led us to create 3 pillars that truly define how Artemis draws us closer.
First, closer to Mars. Artemis reflects the dreams we all have, pushing us to reach beyond what we think is possible.
Next, closer to tomorrow. As Artemis is leading the way to a sustainable future, it inspires us to work toward the future we believe in too.
And finally, closer to each other. Artemis unites people around the world, reminding us that as we reach for the stars, we are all on this journey together.
Now, our mission is set for takeoff. Let's launch on how we'll bring this big idea to life.
Our campaign is designed to inspire Connection Catalysts through in-person and digital experiences, increase engagement on NASA Artemis's Instagram, and drive viewership on NASA Plus.
First, we're bringing Artemis into a space where Connection Catalysts already gather, connect, and unwind, the New York Times Games. These games are a staple in the lives of our target audience, with over 8 billion plays in 2023 alone. Through a weekend-long takeover, we'll turn each game into a moment that brings Artemis closer to home and players closer together.
New York Times Games provides a natural moment of connection through a quick break, shared routine, or a way to recharge. By infusing Artemis into this routine, we make the mission feel close and part of the everyday for players like Ion. And for the New York Times, this means a wave of national coverage and boost in loyal game players as they too become part of the mission.
The excitement rises before the games even launch, with digital countdown billboards lighting up Times Square and university stadiums. These countdowns, funded by the New York Times and selected universities, create a ripple of curiosity.
Ion sees a timer each day on Mizzou's Instagram and Faurot Field. Intrigue builds. Conversations begin. What's coming and why the space theme? Ion can't help but wonder and start sharing with friends, joining the collective anticipation.
Then the countdown hits 0. Ion opens connections to find a special Artemis edition. With words like Mars, tomorrow, and each other, she's immersed in our 3 campaign pillars and the spirit of Artemis.
Sharing her game results on Instagram, Ion unlocks an additional story, an additional game, and spreads the word to her friends. Suddenly, they're orbiting the games too.
Beyond connections, our takeover extends across Wordle, Strands, and Mini Crossword. As Ion plays, the multi-game experience draws her deeper into the mission, connecting her with Artemis at every word.
What's more, these games become shared experiences. By playing these Artemis-themed games together, Ion and her friends aren't just learning about space, they're bonding over it, connecting over challenges and clues that bring them closer to each other.
Alongside this, we'll pitch a feature story to the New York Times and other outlets, showcasing how NASA is making space exploration more relevant than ever by landing on college campuses across the country.
This story will show how through Artemis, NASA is inspiring a new generation by fostering collaboration, ambition, and hope for a better tomorrow as we journey to Mars.
Through our takeover, we expect a significant increase in players, shares, and coverage, all leading back to Artemis platforms, including Instagram and NASA Plus.
We'll reach Ion and her peers in routines they already love, making space exploration feel near and accessible. Each game is a point of connection, drawing connection catalysts closer to Artemis and to one another.
By introducing Artemis as a form of interactive education, something that Yaya's told us they miss from childhood, through the New York Times Games, we're reigniting the joy of discovery, making them feel a part of something greater and undeniably closer than we think.
Building on the momentum of our epic liftoff, we're propelling Artemis forward with a social sweep that spans key platforms to drive engagement and inspire connection catalysts to join the journey. This will take shape across Instagram, NASA Plus, and LinkedIn, where students like Ion can see exactly what Artemis brings them closer to.
Our first touch point is Instagram, an already active space for connection catalysts.
We'll begin our expedition with our Closer Than We Think anthem video, which presents the core message of our campaign and draws parallels between Artemis and connection catalysts. The caption will read, "The farther we journey into space, the closer we become here on Earth. With each new milestone, we grow closer to understanding not only the universe, but ourselves, each other, and the world we want to build together. Every journey, every step forward brings us closer. Closer to Mars, closer to tomorrow, and closer to each other. Artemis is at your fingertips. Are you ready?"
To ensure this resonates personally, we'll pair the video with our Closer To template, inviting Ion and her peers to share their dreams for the future. This will encourage connection catalysts to see how Artemis brings them closer to their own goals, and that they're closer than they think to achieving them.
From there, we'll roll out our first pillar, Closer to Mars. This will parallel Ion's own ambitions with NASA's journey to Mars.
Dear future self, I hope graduation feels as big in real life as it does in my mind. It never fully dawned on me that one day we would actually be here, that we would actually step foot on that stage. Everything felt so new and out of reach then, as distant as Mars itself.
Why are we going back to the moon?
Because we want to see humans on Mars.
Hey, are you ready? We gotta go.
Wherever we go from here, I'm so proud of everything we'll become. We're so much closer than we think. With all the hope in the world, your freshman self.
Through these empowering posts, we'll highlight how every step towards Mars is symbolic of the progress Ion and all of us make towards achieving our own goals.
This will inspire Ion and her peers to share their own Mars, whatever they're striving for and what achieving these goals means to them.
She writes, "My Mars is staying true to my dreams of helping others and finding meaning in every connection, making sure empathy and understanding are at the heart of everything I do. She additionally tags at NASA Artemis for the chance to be reshared.
Next, we're rolling out Closer to Tomorrow, sparking optimism and excitement for the future.
Dear future self, it's hard to imagine what the future looks like. I hope we're still reaching for the stars and moving towards a future that we love, maybe even that dream job. I hope we're proud of how far we've come and how much further I know we'll go. We're so much closer than we think. With all the hope in the world, your freshman self.
Through these posts, we'll demonstrate how both NASA and those like Ion are working toward a tomorrow they believe in.
These posts also give Ion the chance to spotlight one of her friends, nominating someone like Lillian as a catalyst for tomorrow for landing her dream job. She posts on her Instagram story, "Congrats on your new job, Lillian. I love you so much and can't wait to see your future bloom." Here, Ion is celebrating her loved one's accomplishments alongside her own, fostering connection on Instagram through shared milestones. In tandem, educational posts from Artemis highlight the mission's impact here on Earth, from sustainability to advancements in tech, reinforcing that its progress is for the benefit of all.
And finally, we'll land with Closer to Each Other.
Dear future self, I hope we're proud of how far we've come. But more than anything, I really hope we found our people. I wonder who we're getting ready with, who our roommates are, and which random classmates turned into our closest friends. I know it'll work out. Wherever we go from here, just know that our journey has just begun. I'm so proud of everything we'll become. We're so much closer than we think. With all the hope in the world, your freshman self.
These posts highlight the beauty of human connection, the ties that ground us, even as we reach for the stars, making our goals worth aiming for.
With 59% of survey respondents noting that space exploration inspires them to experience a moment in history with others, we'll encourage Ion and other followers to reflect on relationships that matter most. They'll use Instagram story stickers and share photos of those they miss, whether family back home, a friend abroad, or someone they haven't seen in years.
Inspired by this sentiment, Ion is encouraged to write a letter to her star, one of her dearest friends, a reminder that she's always there, under the same sky.
She writes, "Dear Sophie, I keep thinking about those summers, the sun-soaked mornings, endless swim meets, and late nights on the pool deck, talking under the stars. Even though we're miles apart now, it's like I can still hear your laugh and see those lights reflecting off the water. When I look up at the stars, I still feel so connected to you, like they're shining down on both of us, no matter where we are. Love, Ion." This proves just how deeply connection resonates, even across distance, and Artemis can inspire the same spirit of boundless connectivity with our campaign.
To extend this sense of belonging and education into professional spaces, we propose creating a dedicated LinkedIn page for NASA Artemis. This page will share regular updates and highlight stories of teamwork, scientific innovations, and personal achievements. Through posts aligned with our campaign's pillars, Ion and her friends will feel inspired to follow, engage, and see Artemis as a mission they too can be part of.
For those looking to dive even deeper, NASA Plus becomes the ultimate destination. Each Instagram and LinkedIn post will lead to this platform where Ion can explore series tailored to each Closer Than We Think pillar.
Whether that's hearing the triumphs of employees in Closer to Mars, learning about innovations that are shaping the future and Closer to Tomorrow, or witnessing how Artemis fosters bonds across NASA and closer to each other, Ion can learn about Artemis's pursuit of exploration, innovation, and above all else, bringing people closer.
Through this synergy between Instagram, LinkedIn, and NASA Plus, we'll drive deep engagement and prove that with Artemis, we're all closer than we think.
College campuses provide the perfect setting to strengthen this connection between Connection Catalyst and Artemis, making them an ideal hub for our final initiative. Here, we're touching down on Earth, right on Ion's campus for our final initiative, Closer You. This program, launching at 6 pilot universities, will transform Artemis into something Ion and her peers can experience up close.
These campuses will be selected to host Closer You in spring 2026, a week-long celebration designed to inspire Connection Catalyst to learn and connect with Artemis. Through these events, Ion and her peers will feel the impact of Artemis, deepening their bond with the mission and with one another.
As universities promote Closer You on their own social platforms, we'll continue to amplify the buzz. Ion, other students, and faculty will share their excitement, drawing in more voices to build anticipation for the events.
For Closer You, we recommend NASA begin with these 6 universities for their large student bodies, vibrant campus cultures, and existing NASA partnerships.
These schools are just the beginning. The connections and opportunities sparked by Closer U will inspire other campuses to join, making the movement larger and more impactful with every passing year.
Each campus will build anticipation through digital infographics and teasers, ensuring that by the time Closer U Week begins, it's impossible to miss.
But, Avery, no campaign is complete without its influencers. For Connection Catalyst, the most powerful influencers can be found right on campus, the students they see every day who are making their schools better, stronger, and more united. This leads us to our Planets program.
Starting in September, students can attend a kickoff event to network with NASA professionals and apply for the Planet Committee, a team of passionate, driven individuals representing a wide range of majors.
Through Planet, these students are going to gain hands-on experience organizing Closer U events, strengthening leadership skills, and building lasting connections, not just with NASA, but with each other. Together, they're going to bring Artemis down to earth, forming lasting moments of connection that truly draw their campuses closer.
Closer U Week begins with an uplifting Closer to Mars theme night, where each campus will host a lantern release to light the way to Mars. Ion stands on the quad, biodegradable lantern in hand, surrounded by her peers. She writes her biggest dreams for the future across her lantern surface, her hopes for the future illuminated by its soft glow. As hundreds of lanterns are released into the night sky together, Ion feels something profound. Her dreams are closer than she realized, and so is the connection she shares with those around her.
At this moment, Ion isn't just reaching for the stars. She's a part of something greater. The shared act makes her feel closer to her own personal Mars, to a brighter tomorrow, and to everyone around her also daring to dream.
After the release, Ion and friends add their stories to a Message to Mars collaborative art wall on campus, a mural of dreams for the future, showing student aspirations as part of a collective journey.
The next event is going to embody Closer to Tomorrow through a campus-wide day of service. Just as Artemis is aiming to shape a better future for all of humanity, these students, Ion and her peers, will contribute to their own communities, reinforcing values of collaboration and progress back here on Earth.
Ion might spend the day volunteering at a local food bank, picking up trash downtown with friends, or organizing a clothing drive. Each action symbolizes Artemis's vision of working towards the future together.
And to end Closer U Week with something truly stellar, Closer to Each Other Night brings everyone together for a night under the stars. Ion and her friends gather on a cozy blanket, watching The Martian projected on a large screen, while constellations dance across the ceiling or stadium walls.
For a more immersive experience, they can suit up at a Red Planet photo booth, posing in astronaut gear against a Mars-inspired backdrop to capture memories and share on Instagram, and ultimately amplify the event's reach.
Finally, to gaze at the real stars, astronomy clubs will offer optional telescope viewing events before or after the Closer U event. This provides Ion the chance to connect with the cosmos that Artemis aims to explore.
Following Closer U Week, Ion's University will be featured on NASA Plus in a documentary-style series. Similar to the successful Amazon series, The College Tour, this series will showcase real student perspectives, bringing Artemis to life through their eyes. Ion will see herself and friends reflected in this journey, growing closer to each other and Artemis during this special experience.
Each episode will highlight the passion, camaraderie, and impact of Closer U, showing how students across pilot universities organized and shared these experiences, all connected by Artemis. This series will ultimately inspire those like Ion to feel that the mission is closer to them too.
To amplify this student-led perspective, NASA will be collaborating with documentary and film students at each campus, showcasing behind-the-scenes excitement, challenges, and achievements, allowing students to play a direct role in sharing the story of Artemis.
Throughout Closer U, we'll promote the event on both University and Artemis social channels. Posts will spotlight event and application details, introduce the Planet Committee, and feature memorable moments from Closer U.
Members of the Planet Committee will also share their leadership experiences on LinkedIn, reflecting the skills and connections they gained through organizing Closer U.
By sharing these stories, they'll drive traffic to NASA Plus and expand awareness of Artemis's mission. As an additional bonus, Planet members will also receive a custom crew graphic for their profiles.
These efforts will extend beyond campus. National and local news outlets will highlight Closer U's impact, illustrating how Artemis is inspiring college students and fostering connections across the country.
Throughout Closer U will draw large student turnouts, boost NASA Plus engagement, and spark a wave of UGC across socials. It will draw a stronger bond between Artemis and this generation, ensuring that they feel deeply connected to its mission.
Now that we presented our Out of This World campaign, let's bring it back down to earth a bit and discuss our timeline. From September to April, we're taking Connection Catalysts on an immersive journey, building excitement and engagement across platforms every step of the way. Through social buzz, earned media, and $33,000 in funding for each university, students will explore Artemis's mission, connect with one another, and grow closer to their own ambitions alongside Artemis.
This shared experience seamlessly integrates with our broader campaign by inspiring nationwide engagement, connecting college communities, and expanding Artemis's impact across both digital and in-person experiences. Our Connection Catalysts will truly feel as though they're a part of the Artemis generation.
Our campaign brings us closer to each other, to those who came before, and to the dreams that await us. This is how the story of Artemis becomes our own, a journey of hope and ambition that makes us feel part of something greater, now and for generations to come.
As we look towards the future, each of us has something that we're reaching for. Whatever that may be, we're closer than we think. I'm closer to witnessing things I've never seen before.
I'm close to the connections that make everything feel possible.
I'm closer to the strength I've always had within me.
I'm closer to finding my place in the universe.
I'm closer to graduating.
I'm closer to new possibilities.
I'm closer to crossing the finish line.
I'm closer to finding myself.
I'm closer to making a difference.
I'm closer to becoming the person my younger self never thought was possible.
And I'm closer to my teammates, whose pursuit of their own goals makes me realize that mine are within reach too. Artemis, thanks you so much for joining us on this journey. We hope you feel closer to everything Artemis stands for and that connecting with our audience is at last within reach. We'll now open the floor to questions. Happy for us.
Okay, sorry. Do I need to repeat anything for our folks online? Anyway, fantastic job. I am struggling to even come up with a question right now, so I'm going to turn it over and see if Dylan has one, and while I think a little bit more.
Thank you.
Linda, do you have any questions? Is it on?
Well, I was just blown away, I would just say up front, by the ideas and creativity. And I was listening, to the information earlier on all the data that you collected, and I just love the way, you distilled that sort of, to these key points. And I just wondered, did anything surprise you about the way it all worked out? Did you see where this was going, or? Anyway, the process fascinates me. I think you did a great job. So the question sort of is, did anything surprise you along the way about the process and where you ended up?
Oh gosh, a lot of things, but I'll pass it off to Audrey.
Anyone can answer about what surprised them about the process. I think I was part of the research team, so I was the qualitative strategist, so I did the interviews, and I think, the one that surprised me the most was the insight that we ended up choosing. Something that we found was everybody had a memory of space exploration, but it always involved another person, no matter what it was. I thought that was really, really interesting. So that was inspiring, but also motivating. And that our team ended up choosing it, and I think they did a great job with executing it. So, yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
I also found it was fascinating. It kind of confirmed our own excitement about Artemis was just this idea of, oh my gosh, we're going to Mars. Like once people realized that about the Artemis campaign, that was by far kind of the most exciting thing about it. So we really tried to pull that through in our campaign, along with the Closer to Tomorrow aspect, that they're really interested in scientific innovations as well as they want to see, space exploration, better our world, better Earth, all of these things. And then kind of like Audrey said, closer to each other is really about that connection. But the Closer to Mars aspect was really cool too, and something we loved pulling through.
think we also didn't really come in with an idea of how this was going to end up, but connection drove everything that we came up with, no matter what. Even with the New York Times connections, we were like, oh, awesome, it's called Connections. But also it's a way to connect with people you live with, people you don't see every day. And we just used connection to really drive everything that we came up with.
So what do you think would be the most challenging aspect of your campaign to implement?
That's a good question. I think just kind of the aspect of like getting the collaboration with the New York Times, we really see this being beneficial for them to drive their own game platform and to get more viewers and more users using that as well. And then obviously pitching that story, that's a big outlet, but we really see it as a beneficial thing for the New York Times as well. I believe this is the first time that they would do some sort of takeover like this. So although NASA couldn't financially contribute to it, maybe brands in the future, this could open the doors up for people that are trying to advertise their own brands and their own campaigns. The New York Times can make a lot of money off of this in the future. So we really see that being a big potential for them as well.
Thanks.
Any questions online? Questions? I also echo what Laura said. Fabulous campaign. And I love that you used the footage of the Artemis 2 crew hanging out. They really are that close. When you fly to space with 3 other people, they become your brothers and sisters for life. So I'm glad that you guys incorporated that. I love the New York Times games. I already did the Wordle today, so I could keep my streak going. And I was going to ask, how much would that cost? How much do you and it sounds like the New York Times hasn't done it before. So do you have a similar partnership and an idea of like what that would actually cost?
We didn't necessarily, maybe IP team might have numbers, but also we knew that because of kind of the government aspect of NASA, that this wouldn't be like a partnership that would be able to be paid for, but because of the novelty of the NASA brand, I really see this as NASA being the only brand that could get away with something like this, honestly, to do this for the first time, because you guys just have such a vision for bringing people together for education. It just aligns perfectly. And so this is the perfect brand to kick it off. And then maybe in the future, that could, it just hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
So
No, it makes a lot of sense. I love it. I love the New York Times. But they need to stop asking me when Gateway's going to launch.
Okay, any other questions? All right.
Shot. No? Okay.
Hearing none, Chroma, congratulations, you are done.